Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
What is up, everyone? How we doing today?
Hey, people.
I'm here.
Hello, everybody.
What's going on, everyone?
Can everyone hear us okay?
Can you hear now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Slam your head on the keyboard. If, damn it, Corey, we don't need to see you.
It's that beard, though, man. We got to see that beard.
It is nice, yeah.
I thought I was missing out. I thought if I clicked that, I get to see everybody else.
No,
No.
that's not how it works. If that's how it worked, I would be wearing pants.
Well, then I wouldn't want to. Then I wouldn't want to see that.
I know,
All right, just read yourself, Corey.
Yeah. So, yeah, how's everyone doing today? We making money, all that good stuff. We excited for Anaheim, everyone that's come on so far.
Who's joining us?
Deborah's
Deborah.
fine.
It's going to be good to see you.
There it is.
Deborah.
What up,
Nick, you need to get on that plane, bro.
Mr. Dwayne, you need to come down too, bud.
Awesome.
Who is, I need to know who it is, because it's true. I do sit when I pee.
That's got to be Whitney. All right, we still got a bunch of people coming in, but we're like 5 minutes over the start time. So is everyone cool with us going ahead and getting started with this round robin? Everyone excited?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I am Brad, and if we have time at the end, I'm going to share something. Otherwise, I'm just going to let all the presenters that are going to be in Anaheim, they've all come with like a quick, 5 minute, drop a bomb, get them out type presentation, and it's going to be just straight knowledge today. Sound good? Type a yes, or I'm not going to go on.
We've got to know you're listening.
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
We don't do
some
many
yeses.
We don't do many afternoon webinars, but I like them because then I can get it done in the day, and I'm not quite as inebriated during these. So awesome.
All right.
So before we get started, though, anyone that wants to join us in Anaheim, that's coming up real quick. VIP's going away. All that good stuff. So if you want to go to Anaheim, network with all these badasses, they're getting ready to talk, get your shit to the next level, then go to nfgrockstars.com and hop on. But this is, like I said, pure value. So let's go ahead and get started. Jordan, who did you say is first after you read me that long list? I couldn't read it first.
Yeah, Terry.
All right, awesome. So we got Terry up first. Terry, did you want to take the screen, or do you need me to send it over? Or?
I don't need the screen, but it's up to you guys.
All right.
No, if you just want to talk, that's fine. Yeah.
So Terry, just let everyone know real quickly who you are, and just a quick 30-second thing, and then go ahead and jump in.
Terry Power. I spoke last year at Rockstars, and just the attending was amazing. More so than just getting up in front of people and talking, because I can do that anytime. But I play a lot in the clouds, and that's going to be the focus this Rockstars of what I'm going to talk about. But you can find me at terrypower.com, at terrystipsandstrategies.com, wherever. And I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/Google Guy. I snagged that years ago. So, but a couple of things I've been looking at in the Google Cloud. If you go into Google Cloud, they have a section called Talent Solution. You can find it in the dashboard somewhere in there. The Talent Solution is for people looking to hire someone. And if you do any client SEO, your clients want to be hired by someone. So I'm looking at that talent solution, which includes a section of live events, and seeing if I can make that find my clients when someone's looking to hire a plumber or a dog trainer, or not that I have any dog trainer clients or plumber clients for that matter. But anyway, when they're looking for particular positions to hire someone to do a job for them. In the Microsoft Cloud, they have something called Live Arena Broadcast that I've been playing around with. And it's basically your own TV channel, but it's backed by Microsoft, not Roku or somebody else, Hulu or any of those others. But today, I thought, rather than talk about the clouds, I know I already did, but so a couple of little Twitter things you guys can do that can help you help your clients. this is more for client SEO again than anything else because that's my focus generally. Of course, you can find all the Twitters in your area by when you're on Twitter. There's a little search bar on the right. You put in your town, Greensboro, North Carolina, where I am, and you can find all the Twitter users in an area or your client's area if you want to use those Twitter people as a focus for your particular client. More so on getting some new clients. If you like working with groups, and I'm talking about churches, I'm talking about with sports organizations, especially little leagues, you can use Twitter's feature of posting and receiving tweets via text message to send and receive unlimited text messages for free. And anybody that can get text messages, they don't have to have Twitter to get them or to send them. And it's great for setting up for a church for the Sunday school lessons. They can send out this week's lessons is this, and all the congregation gets it. They can send out, please pray for Mrs. Donnelly this week. She's got a meeting with Jordan Pierce, whatever it happens to be. And organizations will, you can charge them to set that up for you, or you can do it gratuitously just to get your foot in the door. It's great for, like I said, little leagues. Whether it's baseball, soccer, it doesn't matter because everybody gets the thing where practice this week is canceled or practice tomorrow is going to be at the different field or, all sorts of things like that. So
I know I've seen that as a pain point for multiple people actually trying to get their lists organized. So that's a kind of cool pro tip right there for.
And that's just a matter of creating a Twitter account that's called, First Baptist Soccer League, whatever, and then have all the people that you want to send a message to go into their text message and send a text, follow First Baptist Soccer League to 404040, and then whoever you give the control of that Twitter account, anything they post will be texted to all those people who are following it. It's a one-way conversation, which is really ideal usually for the admins because then they don't have to get a lot of they're not having to answer questions. It's just sending out blasts. But you can send it out to, don't get me wrong, a regular business can use it too if they can get their customers to get in there. But it's a great foot in the door, whether you charge for it or whether it's just to introduce them to stuff you do, especially if you do mobile marketing or anything like that. So I think I kept it under 5 minutes. But anyway, Terry Power.
No, that was, I hope your head started thinking on that. The ability to do free SMS if you like to make money, that's actually a pretty damn cool thing. So
you find me on Skype and I'll send you a little PDF I made of it. I've sold that little PDF on how to do that. I don't know how many times, but more than enough that I don't need to sell it anymore. So if you want it, just look me up on Skype and say, hey, can you send me that little ditty on how you do that? But,
Awesome.
Thank you. And if you guys got questions, we're going to just kind of hold this to the end. So we want to get through everyone's presentations today. So just save your questions. But thanks, Terry.
Awesome. That was pretty badass, Terry. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Everyone give us a hell yeah or something. Make sure that you got that and, that you can.
We got someone excited that just tested groups on some of the cloud stuff too. So, yeah. There we go, Brad. We got Brad. Someone already Skyped him. There you go. Take action.
All right, awesome.
Cool.
I appreciate it, Terry. And I can't wait to hang out in Anaheim.
Yeah, look forward to seeing all you guys. And those of you that I've met before, look forward to seeing you again. I'm going to mute myself. I'll be listening.
All right, awesome. Appreciate it. George, what we got up on deck?
Next on deck, we got Mr. Kyle Roof.
Oh, sweet.
That's me.
So I'm sure people know who you are by now, but in case people don't know you, let us know who you are.
I don't have any slides because I had this at 1 p.m. Pacific rather than
no worries.
Eastern.
That's okay.
I was like, oh, Jordan's really kind to send this
reminder
a few hours early. That's great. Yeah, so I'm Kyle Roof. I have an agency called High Voltage SEO. We have an office in Phoenix where I'm located right now. We have an office in Berlin and an office in Melbourne. I have about 16 employees and about 80 clients. And I do local to national to international to just about everything in between. And if you've seen me speak, you've heard me say that line before. I've spoken at Rockstars the last few years. I spoke at NFG when it was not part of Rockstars last year, and that was a lot of fun. And Rockstars and NFG are two of my favorite conferences. I'm glad we're not going back to North Carolina. And nothing against North Carolina, but LA is a little more fun. And I'm excited about that. So what I've been playing with recently is getting real data and getting real data from Google. And what I mean by that is in SEO, we try to figure out what are the right search terms to go for. What do we need to do for this campaign? And we turn to a third-party tool. Pick your tool that'll give you keyword data. It doesn't really matter. The point is that it's probably wrong. And it's probably wrong by a stretch because whatever data they're pulling from isn't the actual data. So what I've been doing recently is that you can run very small campaigns on broad match keywords, and you can figure out the search volume for your area or the search volume as a whole. As an example, I ran a broad match campaign for the word Botox. That's very broad, right? But I confined that AdWords campaign to the area that I'm interested in this case, Phoenix. If you go to any tool, they'll tell you that Botox is probably between, like as a broad search term, is between like 80,000 and 120,000 searches per month. What you can do though is you can actually find out how many searches there really are per month for any keyword you like, the actual amount. So I limited to Botox to Phoenix, and what you do is you take your impressions, so that's the amount of time that your ad was shown within AdWords, and you divide by your impression share. It's one of the things. You go into competitive metrics, choose impression share, it's going to give you a percentage. Divide your impressions by impressions share. So whatever the number is for impressions, and then it says, say 37%, divide by 0.37. That will give you the actual search volume for that term. And what was pretty awesome is for Botox for Phoenix, it's actually at 300,000 searches per month. For Phoenix alone, when a third-party tool will tell you broadly for the nation that it's only about 100,000. The data isn't even close.
Yeah, no, that I hope you realize that Kyle just kind of dropped a bomb. Someone's asking you to say that one more time.
So you take so you run an ad and keep it as a broad match search term, so that you can get all the searches that are available. So broad match is the same thing. It's very similar to how Google will show results in the SERPs. It's looking for the broadest way to understand your keyword. So broad match is a great way to look at it. You take the amount of impressions that you had. That's how many times your ad was shown. So somebody searched for your term, your ad was shown. Then go into competitive metrics in AdWords and choose impression share. Divide your impressions by impression share. So let's say your ad only showed 50% of the time. You divide your impressions by 0.50, and then that'll tell you the actual search volume for your term. You'll get real data. Here's the next bomb. Then click search terms in AdWords. And what that is going to show you are the actual terms that people searched. So you take a broad thing such as Botox, and then Google will show it as many times as it possibly can for related searches. You can find how people are actually searching for that term. So Botox near me, how much is Botox? Botox injections, how much does Botox cost? Botox Groupon, Botox Scottsdale. Now I can create my SEO campaigns off of terms that people are actually searching. I don't have to guess.
We got a comment in there, and it is fucking legend.
So you see what I'm saying? So, spend $50 on a campaign at the start, and you can, one, figure out how much search volume there really is, and you can confine it to your area. Let's say you're a local term, then you can figure out how many people are actually searching for plumbers in Dallas rather than trying to guess. Or if you're nationwide, you can actually get the real data. But then two is that you can use Google to tell you the terms that it thinks are related. What it will actually show your ad for, and it'll give you the terms that people are actually searching, so you don't have to guess. You can go one step farther. Look at your conversions, people that click on the ad and then they go to your page. Did they do what you want them to do? And if they did, now you know the terms that will give you money versus the terms that won't. So you can continue to run small AdWords campaigns to find actual data, to find how people are actually searching, and then define how they're actually converting.
It's also great for split testing copy as well. You know, AdWords. I think people forget the tie between organic and the actual what Google is, which is a money making machine, and that's the ad platform. So people are asking if you have that written out. I'm sure that you can ask them when you buy him a beer in Anaheim.
I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I'll have the slides in Anaheim. So
Yeah,
this is a little bit of what
for everyone on here, we of course wanted to give you a little taste and drop a bunch of value, but if you want to get everything, of course, I mean, join us in Anaheim if you can, if at all possible. So, but how did everyone like that stuff? Yes, no, I'm seeing fire in here. I didn't even know you could.
I'm already creating my ad right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could put fire emojis in GoTo. I'm gonna have to figure out how
Someone
to do
had
that, John.
spasms.
Yeah, it's completely
They're
awesome.
loving it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've got like $250 in AdWords credits right now, so I'm gonna play around with
Use
it.
them up.
Yeah, that's true. AdWords gives you free. I completely forgot about that. I'm adding that to my talk. AdWords will give you $50 anyway.
Get more Google accounts and create ads.
For sure. Use and you get it for free.
All right.
Well, thanks
Thank
for
you,
sharing
Kyle. That was awesome.
You bet.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Kyle. Thank you very much. Who we got on deck, Jordan?
Nothing better than the old Scottish man himself, Mr. Craig.
Oh, sweet. Welcome, Craig. What up? And
Cheers,
of
guys.
course, any of the presenters, let me know if you need the screen. I'll pass it over. Or you can take it at any time, whatever, so they can stop
Yeah,
staying
give
at
me-
this hotel if you need it.
If you can give me the screen, that would be perfect.
All right, one sec.
Craig, just
Coming your way.
before you start, just let everyone know who you are. Just a quick little 30-second spiel.
Cool. So my name's Craig Campbell. Hopefully you can understand the accent. So I'm based in Scotland in the UK, and I've got a small agency. I used to have a massive agency, but a lot of my current focus is on affiliate marketing. I hate doing client work. I hate everything to do with clients. And I love just black hat things, you know, automation, how to break stuff, how to blow shit up. And yeah, just like playing about, trying different stuff, different tricks, different techniques. And hopefully when I get to the conference, I'm just going to give you guys a whole talk on all the good, nasty, or not, or all the good kind of naughty tricks that are working well for me. So yeah, that's a bit about me. I'm actually worse off than Kyle. I only heard about this webinar 20 minutes ago, so I don't actually have anything prepared, but I'm going to show you a quick trick that's been working well for me over the years to get links. So big PR publications, people pay a shit ton of money to get links on. So a website like this, the Liverpool Echo, which is a UK-based one, has a DR81. It gets a ton of traffic. You know, ranked for 1 million keywords, 4 or 5 million hits a month. Quite a good link to get. And it's probably one that you've all heard before, but I'm not sure. Every time I mention it at a conference, people are mesmerised or blown by it because it's so simple yet so easy. So what I tend to do is look for images on high-profile newspaper websites, and you'll see here, image unknown. Now, normally, these websites will credit someone if the image came from a website like Shutterstock or some other website. They would normally link to that website. So this one, or you could simply do a simple search doing Liverpool Echo image unknown, and it will bring up a whole bunch of URLs where the image has not been credited to anyone. And what I tend to do is reach out on LinkedIn to find out someone who's got editorial access at this press company or any other press company. Or what I've also got is a fake ass legal website, which is talking about intellectual property, copyright protection, and so on. Complete fake website. It looks very real. It's got like down in the footer disclaimers and all this kind of bullshit on here. Complete fake ass website that I own, and just say to them, you know, something simple in an email saying, you're using my client's picture, we don't want any trouble, we just want to be credited for the picture, blah, 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 blah. And 9 times out of 10, doing that from a legal website is more than enough force to get the link. And loads of people say it can't be that easy. It really can't. It is. Try it out. You don't even always have to use the legal website as force. I prefer that option because I get a much better response when it's done from a legal website. People get scared. You know, 95% of the population are naive and scared. You know, they're not all guys like are in this, you know, in this, are going to be attending this conference who know every trick under the book. 95% of these guys, you know, barely know how to put an image on their website, never mind the legal stuff that goes around about that. So it's quite a good way to get high profile PR links, which, you know, then integrates into my overall link building strategy, which is around PBNs, niche edits, and all the other stuff that I tend to do. So that's just one little bomb that I'll drop today, but I'm looking forward to getting over there and sharing a whole bunch of stuff that people can go away and implement there and then on their own websites.
You know, it's a wonderful tactic because I've been on both sides of it. We've had multiple lawsuits for image use and lost thousands of dollars over image use. So it tends to be like, once anyone understands images, it's a lot more dangerous than copy. So when people understand it, they will instantly comply with it. I guarantee you that, if they understand what can come up from using someone's image. So that was a freaking bomb. That was awesome. Thank you, Craig.
No worries. Who
Awesome, Craig.
does anyone want this presenter sent over to them?
Next we got on the list is no other than the legend, Mr. Ted Kavitis.
Oh, I know he's going to want the screen.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, please send it my way.
Send
All
it.
right. Show this screen. All right. So I am not going to spoil my topic for the conference. Instead, I'm going to show you some cool research we're currently trying to conduct. And what you'll find when you go to a show like NFG Rockstars is a lot of the presenters are showing you the results of the work they've done for months and months and months, or the research they've conducted, and what are the conclusions and the best practices that comes out of that research. And one of the things I've been researching in the past month is, why do some of my test sites have terrible retention rates in the Google index? I'm looking at Google indexing with a microscope. And so what we have here are 8 different websites that are affiliate websites that range from about 1,000 to 6,000 pages per website. And when one successfully launches, it looks like this. We get these 3 bands of monthly traffic, weekly traffic, daily traffic. And we like to see those 3 bands because it means you successfully launched in Google. And site number 7 here almost launched, but died. And then the rest of these were DOA. And what these failed to launch websites have in common is they all have this 2-day spike where they got organic traffic from Google and then Google shut them down. And so we are very interested in what Google's process is on that first 2 days Google becomes aware of a new website. Because it seems to us that Google is evaluating these new sites. They're looking for some kind of signal and didn't get it. And so it's very compelling to us to try and figure out what Google's looking for in that first 2 days, because knowing that will not only help businesses, but it helps us test Google more effectively. And so what you will see when you go to a conference like NFG Rockstars is people are going to show you this caliber of research, and they're going to tell you the findings, and it's pure gold. And even more to that point, there is an attendee, not even a speaker, that's going to be there that has the most amazing research on what might be affecting these 2-day intervals. And the research he showed me the other day is so impressive. I consider it the most amazing research I've seen in a year. And the reason I bring that up is you need to network at this event.
Hell yes.
Because not only are the presenters totally awesome, there are totally awesome people sitting right next to you at these events.
That's awesome.
There's another person coming that I constantly see his research and his ranking and what his tactics are, and it's freaking insane. And I want to reiterate the fact that it's not always just about the presentation. It's also about the networking. So make sure that if you need that liquid courage, go grab some, because you really don't know who you're sitting next to.
Yep. And if you're having trouble indexing and you want to know about that research, I'll tell you at the conference the right guy to buy a drink.
There you go. That's a bomb right there.
Or maybe a couple.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ed.
this is awesome because, I mean, I know when I was doing a lot of mass traffic, this killed a lot of campaigns. You'd get this boom spike immediately, and then it would kind of drizzle out. So you'd have to kind of do the churn and burn style type stuff, which, I mean, it can make money, but you wish they would stay indexed. So if I had a way to keep shit indexed all the time, then you better believe that I would stick to that and implement it. So really, really awesome stuff, Ted. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next we got on here is Lisa. Lisa, do you need the screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. And then just let everyone know real quickly who you are and go ahead and carry on.
Yeah, and tell me, I can't tell when you guys can actually see the screen.
All right, we'll let you know. Right, got it.
Got it.
Got it? Okay, perfect. Well, guys, I'm a little different than a lot of the speakers you're going to hear from at Rockstars, in the sense that while I am a very good SEO, I actually focus on sales for my company, and I consider myself somewhat of a sales savant. And I'm not tooting my own horn. The word savant actually means a learned person. And so that's what I tend to teach. And I love teaching at Rockstars. I've been there a few times to teach, and that's what we teach. Sales is actually something you guys can learn, and that's what I focus on. And Dory brings someone in because it's great to actually do SEO, but if you can't sell it, you're not going to have any clients to do it for. So I actually own an agency. I have a bunch of people that work for me, and that's what we do. We focus on consumer end, so business to business, SEO and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
and how many, before she gets started, how many in here are, just so we get a feel for the room, are doing, in some portion of your agency, are doing client work? Even if you're doing PPL and affiliate and stuff like that too, how many actually have clients or want to have clients? And how useful do you think it would be to have a proven sales system in place to just automatically, generate those leads? Yep, awesome. Got a bunch of people. So yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure everyone was paying attention real quick before you hopped into it, because this is important.
Yeah, no problem. Well, the first thing you need to do is get leads, and kind of like Ted, I'm not going to ruin that. We're going to cover at Rockstars just exactly what was just said. How do you get leads? How do you get people to call you? But more importantly, once you get them, how do you close those sales? We're going to do that at Rockstars. But I'm going to give you a little tip. So I call this my #1 sales tip, and it really is weird. So I tell people, do yourself a disservice and leave money on the table. Why? Because leaving money on the table will actually lead you to bigger money. So I'm sure there's a bunch of you guys out there that want to learn how to get checks like you see on the screen. Those are all real checks we received last year, and that's just a fraction of our business. We get that because we know how to close sales, and that is the number one success factor in our business. So what do I mean by doing yourself a disservice, right? A lot of you guys right now are saying, you know, reach out, right? Like, why would I leave money on the table? Why would I tell the customer to not spend money with me? And why does that make me insane to say it? Well, stay with me for a minute, because honesty is the number one thing you're going for, right? People aren't going to say yes. People aren't going to hand you checks for, you know, $40, $60, $200,000. They're just not going to hand you those unless they can trust you. So you have to build trust. And we found the easiest way to build trust is literally to leave money on the table. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to shock them with your honesty, but you're going to do it in a very calculated way. And I'm not going to teach you the entire process here, but I will teach that at Rockstars. So here's your scenario. A customer calls you, you're face-to-face, doesn't matter how it is, and they ask you what you offer and how much you charge. What would you guys say? So A, would you explain how SEO works in very high technical detail? B, would you give them a brief explanation about how SEO works? C, don't tell them a darn thing about SEO or how it works? D, describe the end result and benefits of SEO? Or E, none of the above? Remember, this is the first time someone just called you. How many people picked E, none of the above?
We've got a couple E's coming through.
Yeah, E is good. Why? Because your first goal is to actually earn their trust, not show them how smart you are. So again, you know, we ask, so what are you trying to do here? Since we only buy from people we like and trust, we got to figure out how to quickly build that trust. And let me give you that same scenario and tell you what we would do. So just a kind of like, what would Lisa do in this scenario? So somebody calls me, they ask me, you know, what the pricing is, that kind of thing. First of all, I'm going to talk to them, get to know everything I need to know in the first minute about them and their business. I'm going to figure out what type of business they are. I'm going to figure out what their product, how much it costs, that kind of thing. I'm going to figure out how much money I want. So if I want to sell somebody a $5,000 a month package, okay, when I first quote prices with them, I'm going to double that price. So I'm going to tell them I want $10,000 a month, or let's even go smaller. Let's say we want $2,000 a month, so we quote them $4,000 a month. And then as we're talking to them, as you know, and by the way, that could be any number. It could be 500 you want, and you quote them 1,000. Whatever it is, double the price of what you really want. And then as you're talking to them and you're throwing down and, you know, you're getting to know them, the number one thing I say to them, it goes just like this. Well, you know what? SEO is a long game, by the way, Mr. Customer. And honestly, I would rather have you either not work with me if you're not serious, or spend less, because I'd rather have you, remember I quoted them 10,000. So I'd say, I'd rather have you spend $5,000 a month and commit to me to 6 to 12 months rather than take 10 grand and 2 or 3 months later you quit, because it's just a waste of your money. And I don't want you to waste your money. I want a partner and someone that's going to be with me 2, 5, 10 years from now. And the only way we can build your business together, Mr. Customer, is if you're smart. So honestly, if 5,000 is all you can afford, and remember, insert the number you really wanted, because psychologically, you doubled your price to come down. That's what every store on the planet does. It's what Walmart does. It's what Target does. That's why they can have fire sales, 50% off, 75% off, because the price they actually offered the product for the first time was double what they really needed to get for it. So that's kind of my, you know, big wow of what you should do. I'm going to go into that a lot more at Rockstars. You know, here's 4 more little tips if you want to screenshot it, or I'm not going to read these, you know, to you. But again, sales is all about trust, and we get people to hand us big checks. We've had customers who will pay us, you know, tens of thousands of dollars a year and have done so for 5, 7, 8 years. So if you want to learn sales, definitely, you know, Rockstars is the place to do it. The other big tip I have, and it's just a small one, don't buy the drinks for the people until they've given you your tips and help, because you don't want them drunk when they tell you.
Yeah, that all around is solid advice. Who's going to use that now in their closing? I know I am. Put a yes, no, that's crazy, whatever you want in here. Just
I
post
mean,
it up.
you
That was
trust thing is
really
so
solid.
important.
Yeah.
It's so important. I mean, especially when you're talking about larger numbers and they're wanting you to fly out and shake hands just to sign the contract. The trust is huge.
I think my biggest takeaway is the way that Lisa does it is like she really takes time to know their business and kind of embed herself in their company as though she was part of their company.
Yeah. That way,
I think that's one thing that most people don't really look at. Lisa really cares about her clients, not just about making the money.
Yeah.
And that's why they stay with her for a long time.
Yeah.
So thanks, Lisa. All right, next we got on the list here is Mr. Vic Smush. How you doing, Mr. Vic?
Doing pretty good, man.
All right, so do you need the screen?
Yeah, definitely pass me over the screen.
I'll send it over to you, man.
And while we do that, just let everyone know real quickly who you are and.
Okay, sounds good. Just one quick question. What are you guys seeing? Are you guys seeing Ahrefs or are you guys seeing the GoToWebinar?
Ahrefs. Yeah,
Ahrefs.
Perfect. Okay, my name is Victor Smushkovich. I've been doing internet marketing and SEO for about 12 years now. Recently, I've been specializing in link building and guest posting and PR for about 4 years. That's what I've been my main focus. I do own an agency, and I'd say about 30% of my revenue comes from agency, and the other 70 is coming from lead gen. So in this talk today, I'm going to show you guys how I come up with topics for my guest posting opportunities and how I come up with topics for all of our blogging for our clients and all of our lead gen websites. So you guys are going to need Ahrefs for this. Now, what I use is the Keyword Explorer. So in this example, let's do plumbing. So what we're going to want to do is come up with anywhere from like 3 to 6 one-word, high-level, market-level keywords related to the topic. So I'm going to do plumber, plumbing, let's see, something else, sinks, bath, bathtub, pipes, and sewers. I'm going to go to search. Then we're going to want to go down to the questions tab. And right here, this is where you guys can get a boatload of content ideas for your guest post, or if you guys want to create a content strategy for your guys' actual blog website. So one thing I do is I kind of filter these down by less difficult keywords. You guys have a higher authority site, and you guys have some pretty big backlinking opportunities. You guys can target the higher ones. But for this one, but for this example, I'm going to do a 15 keyword difficulty. So as you can see, within like, 1 minute, we already have several different opportunities, several different topics that we can blog about. So with these, so let's say we're going to choose how to replace a bathtub closet. So this would be one of our blog topics or one of our guest posting opportunities. And what I like to do in all of my guest posts to help them rank for other keywords and particularly rich snippets is I'll go in here and then I'll go one step deeper. So I'll go to the questions into the content topic, and then I'll make these kind of like a commonly asked questions at the bottom of my blog post. So this would be the topic, how to replace a bathtub faucet. And then I'd write the content on that. And then at the bottom of my guest post or blog piece, I would have about anywhere from 5 to 10 of these questions to try to maximize your guys' keywords that you guys can rank for per article. And I always put these in the headings. And a lot of these, you can see they target featured snippets too. So if you guys optimize these right, you guys can get a boatload of traffic for one article instead of kind of just using the topic and kind of just winging it with all of you guys' headings and stuff. So that's the whole presentation today. It's very quick, very sweet, but it'll help you guys scale and it'll help you guys choose your guys' blog topics or guest post topics based on data.
That's
kind of thinking them out of the way.
And also, you can start to build off of this too, and there's a lot you can do with this kind of data. So it really starts to increase the page quality, I'll say.
Yeah, it's page quality, and if you can maximize the amount of traffic that each post brings in, then your domain rate's just going to build that much quicker. You're going to have to do less work. I mean, how long did that take him? Yeah, it had to have been less than 5 minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes
Definitely.
max.
Yep.
That's talking through it.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, if you take a minute or two for additional for each blog post that you do, pass it over to your content writer, have them write the piece. Whoever post it. We have our content writers post it because Mike and I are too lazy to do it. But we have them post it and it's done. And because I took an extra minute or two, or tell them to do this and include it in every single thing that they do, and it's gonna just really, really bring in a ton of extra traffic and increase the domain weight. The more traffic you're getting to each individual blog post, the easier for future blog posts are going to be to rank. Does that make sense to everyone?
Hey, Vic,
My rambling?
do you? No, yeah, I'm sure it does. It's 100% on. But there's a question real quick. I didn't know if you have a sample that you can show, Vic, of how it's placed on page. I know that sometimes it's just not possible to show samples. So
I can't show you an example, but I can kind of come up with a word tag. So basically, like, let's say you have your article here, right, in this section, and then on the bottom I'll have commonly asked questions, and then, for example, I'll just have like this. So I'll take literally one of these, like how to replace a bathtub faucet valve. Then I'll have heading right there, answer, maybe like a 1-paragraph answer, and then so forth, the next one. So this is kind of how you, and when you guys put these in the heading tags, you guys will sometimes rank for feature snippets, and you guys will get a lot more traffic, not only ranking for these additional keywords, but also taking up the rich snippet.
Yeah. And if they're in the heading tags, there's plugins you can use that will really turn your site into your page into a scholarly type page, which is something that
it's huge.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, table of contents plus or something like that automatically will create your table of contents for you, and you have a strong kind of force multiplier going on there. You can talk about that more in Anaheim, though.
Yeah,
exactly.
One of the greatest things that I liked about when Vic came to NFG last year, his way of building processes and systems is far beyond anything I've ever seen. So definitely look forward to what you're bringing this year, man.
Yep, definitely, man. Definitely.
Shock people. I think it's going to be shocking.
Yeah.
Next, we got Mr. Kevin. Kevin, do you need the screen, sir?
No, I don't need the screen. I will be just fine without it.
Cool. So, just let us know real quickly who you are and what you're going to be showing or what you got today.
Absolutely. So my name's Kevin Heimlich. I run an agency called The Ad Firm out of Southern California. We have 2 offices. One's in Irvine, one's down here in San Diego. And I really don't talk too much at conferences because for the most part, I like to kind of stay quiet and soak up most of the knowledge. Because when you've got a lot of you guys do all the legwork. I like to just take the fruits of that labor and implement it. So what I'm going to be talking about is some of the things that I've got some really strong suits in, which is really how to grow your company from, a 1-man show to, a 5-man shop, 10-man shop and beyond. Because, I've had a lot of growing pains over 10 years from going from, me doing most of it to me doing almost nothing. And, we've been in business for 10 years. We've done millions of leads for clients. We've had clients for the whole time of our agency. So not only do we know how to service clients, we also know how to give them the warm and fuzzies and keep them around, even if you drop the ball occasionally. And that's something that's really important. One of the big things is, we know how to keep clients happy, and a lot of times it's not related to the services you're providing. I mean, we've had clients before where they could care less about their rankings. We've had them ranked for every single one of the terms they wanted, and we still lost them. And we've had clients where we weren't able to get them rankings for almost a year, and they were happy as can be. So I'm going to go over some of those things and how to identify that. And then, the biggest thing I'll recommend to everyone at the conference is, I'm an open book. If you ask me a question, I'll tell you exactly what I would do or how I would approach it. I don't really hold things back, but a lot of times I don't know what people want to hear. But I think, showing people how to go from 1 or 2 people to, a full agency and how to structure that so that you don't want to commit suicide is real important. And then one of the things I'm going to go over is, how we've implemented processes to hire people better. And we're actually using a company that we retained, and they've taken us from a 13% retention rate to a 74% retention rate. And
Nice.
it's getting us staff that are not only happier, they're more productive, and they're costing us less. So I'm gonna implement that. And then one of the big things too, that's gonna be a nice little golden nugget that I give to everyone is how we structure our contracts to, one, avoid lawsuits, and how to make sure you can get another 6 figures out of just a couple tweaks on your contracts. So I'm going to give all of that, literally what we use in our contracts, to everyone that's there at the conference, because I've been through a couple different lawsuits, and when they're all done, knock on wood, each one of them have lost and run for the hills and ended up paying more than they were coming after us for. So I'm going to explain.
You've been luckier than I have been.
So yeah, I know Kyle can talk on the legal matter a whole bunch, but yeah, I've been pretty lucky with lawsuits, because we do a lot of research on that and make sure our ass isn't hanging out, because I know a lot of companies don't have their contracts buttoned up nearly as much as they should, and it's very easy to implement that in 24 hours and start, protecting yourself. Because I've never had, well, maybe once or twice, we've had companies go back and forth on the contract, and that's a major red flag. And we say, look, take it or leave it. You don't negotiate with Verizon on their cell phone contract. Either take it or leave it. So that way, if things go astray, we know that we're protected. So I'm going to give literally our exact contract and explain certain parts of it, so that everyone can implement it into their business, and real easy for that. So
really quickly, who has done a wonderful job for somebody and then been let go as soon as that wonderful job was done? I think everyone can say yes to that. So I think this is going to be an invaluable talk for many, many people. I really appreciate it, what you're bringing to the event, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's pretty much all. But yeah, like I said, I mean, when I'm at the conference, I'm going to make sure that everyone understands they can, raise their hands and ask questions on certain stuff, because I may glaze over something, and, everyone may want to stop and talk about that. So yeah, look forward to seeing some new faces, and obviously getting together with everyone I've met over the years. And
guys, the question, I like that Kevin brought it up, is if you haven't been to NFG or whatnot, we're very big into input and getting their problems solved. And we're actually dedicating the third day, the full third day is dedicated to your business and your problems, and some presentation stuff. But mostly we're dedicating that third day to getting your direct problems answered and getting you past those humps. And what Kevin's bringing, I think it's about 30,000 is where people hit a roadblock typically. Yep. And I think that what he's bringing is going to help some people pass that roadblock there, So
yeah, awesome. I'll be able to help you guys get way past that.
Awesome. Way past that's great. See.
Thanks, Kevin. Really appreciate it. Next we got on here is man, I'm super excited for this guy, Mr. Stephen Kang.
There he is.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah.
You want the screen or?
I think I guess I'll do it without it.
Okay. If you want to just real quickly I'm sure everyone should know who you are, but just in case people don't, just let us know who you are real quick.
Sure. I've been in this space for 20 years. Before that, I was in martial arts. Then I got really hooked on web design, so that's how I got into it. And then I got involved with not just the digital marketing, but also supply chain SaaS as well. So I was a part owner, which got sold later. But right now I'm doing client SEO, but I've been minimizing that, because right now what I'm doing is I'm working with larger agencies and serving as their backend, because I love automation. And because I have a development background, I try to automate things and try to connect the dots between the sales and deliverable parts. So what I'll be sharing is a thing called feasibility, because what I've been what I've been realizing after many years, and industry is changing, right, because of the saturation point. And the problem is, if you look at the overall right now what's happening from a business owner's perspective, most business owners, they don't trust digital marketers, right? I don't think it's necessarily because digital marketers are lying their ass off. I think there's a disconnect. And the reason why I believe there's a huge disconnect is they just don't know how to like size the market itself. And also, when you let's say when a business owner sees a marketing company, they're gonna typically talk about from ROI perspective. So they're gonna say, hey, this is what you can make, this is what your typical LTVs, and based on if you sell this many based on the keyword volume, then you're gonna make this much. So they get initially hooked onto that. But the problem is, what if the market itself is defined or limited? Then the question is, how do you then find that size of the market and show the prospect what the market size looks like and where they stand in terms of the market share, and also who the leaders are, what the median is. So if you have the data in front of them, it makes sales a lot easier. And you can also contact higher level sales or companies. So for example, just a few days ago, one of my sales partner reached a $20 million company, and he has presented the market share data and what their share looks like from a digital marketing's perspective. And the COO was so impressed that she has set up a meeting with the CEO. So when you present this type of data, it changes the conversation. So that being said, what I've done was I have automated the whole process of collecting data to presentation. So right now what I'm working on is the live data or live reporting system, so that if, let's say, prospect likes the numbers, and let's say the prospect is presented with the live data URL, then the prospect can play with it. Okay, he can plug in different LTV, conversion rate, and see all the numbers changing. Now this brings up a very, very interesting dynamic, because now you're talking with really tangible numbers that they can see. So if you do a follow-up, it makes closing a lot easier, because now you're presenting a real tangible data that they can actually see what the potential looks like. Because if you think about it, there is no market, especially in a local market, okay, that exists will supply endless number of customers. That's just not possible, right? So if, let's say, prospect will spend $1 million on any given market in a local market, it doesn't mean they can get $1 million worth of business. It's just not going to happen. Then the question is, where's the disconnect? This disconnect is you have to identify what their market size looks like. Okay, so what I'll be sharing is some of the data points and how I have automated it, and that's what I'll be sharing. And another thing is, once you get the client on board, then how do you then set the expectation, right? Because another big complaint is, yeah, I mean, they all sound great. All these sales guys, they sound fantastic, but whenever like I hire them, they bring no results. So then how do you then bring real results based on what you have promised? So I think everything has to go together. So what I've done was I created a virtual page system which built landing pages. But this is not just a mass page builder. This actually collects data. So what it does is it identifies the momentum. So right now I'm tracking somewhere between 1 and 2 million keywords, and every single one of them is being tracked for SERP movement, and I can see the overall the pattern. So based on that, I can pick out which keywords are the sweet spot keywords and present to them. Nice. And they love it because they have something to look at, and it sets the right, not only it sets the right expectation, but you can actually upsell using the real data points. So you can even say, look, Mr. Prospect or client, this is what we have discovered during the entire month of testing, okay? So initially, a lot of the keywords that were not even on the radar, but we're seeing that certain keywords have not only like a search impressions or search volume, whatever you call it, but we're seeing a very, very nice momentum. If we spend this much on this particular keyword, we're gonna get this return. So you see that? So it makes the entire process very, very tangible. So this is great for upsell perspective, but it makes the entire digital marketing, it makes sense for them. So that's
awesome.
what I'll be presenting. And as far as like a tangible tip that I want to share is because I play with a lot of the virtual pages and it builds landing pages. And one of the things I discovered is very interesting, which is the problem with lots of the mass page builders is because of the content duplication, right? So yes, you don't get penalized for duplicate content, but Google will not display lots of duplicacy. So what I've done was, how can I minimize that? So what I've done was, let's say if I have a set of 500 landing pages and they're similar, right? Then what I've done was the parts that are replicating, the repeating, I turn them into JavaScript. So, so Google will pick up the wrapper section, which is content, which is all unique from each page to page, but I have changed navigation parts and repeating elements, such as, like if you look at a landing page, it's gonna have a lot of repeating parts, such as like bullet points and certain, the excerpts. So I changed entire section of those into JavaScript. So Google will see only the non-repeating parts. When I've done that, I've got lots and lots of movements towards the higher positions. Not only that, I'm getting lots of duplicate or double exposures on the SERP.
Yep,
so
I'm noticing that lately too, and I'm actually really interested to sit down and talk about what we've done to implement in some of our problems with our page builders, and this will be a fun conversation. I'm looking forward to that, Stephen.
I kind of like that. Gave me some ideas with search and text.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, this is gonna be fun.
I love that.
We honestly, and the data in and of itself, being able to do the live data, that's phenomenal, because data, it speaks for itself. So very, very cool. Thank you.
Well, this has to be a teaser, so I'm just gonna cut it short right now. But I apologize, I have no memes for you guys today. So
I was going to ask you, are you going to teach us the art of the meme in Anaheim?
Why not? Yeah, why not? Third day, yes.
Yeah. You are the leader in that niche, like without a doubt. So.
Awesome. Everyone, if you can give Stephen a big thank you. That was awesome. It definitely got my mind spinning. I didn't know. And again, we don't know what anyone's going to cover in this 5 minutes. We just said, hey, bring something awesome. You got 5 minutes, and they all graciously joined us. So really appreciate everyone coming on here. And again, this is just kind of a preview, although it is very valuable, kind of a preview of what is going to be covered at NFG Rockstars this year. And if you haven't joined us and would like to, feel free to go over to nfgrockstars.com and hop on, because we're about to close up the doors.
It's time to take advantage of the +1 too, because I believe we're closing the +1 pricing.
+1 and the VIP too, yeah.
Yep, the VIP is closing. I think it's close. I think it might be capped at this point. I'm not sure.
It's very close.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you, Stephen. Lastly, but certainly not least, it's Mr. Corey Rose.
A rose by any other name.
Yeah, right.
Sound fair enough?
What's up, Evan? Yeah, does that sound fair enough? It does. Well, that was great what Stephen said. I especially like just being able to share some data with people, and he's totally right on. When you get into internet marketing, people are generally skeptical. Most of the people that I do client SEO, only client SEO. I run an agency out of Carlsbad, California, called Search Geeks. So I'm down to one agency. I've had several. But yeah, if you could pass the screen over, I got just a couple quick slides over here.
And real quick, if you just, you already told everyone you were, but yeah, you need the screen. Yeah, if you guys got questions, again, we're gonna hold those questions to the end. We see quite a bit here, so just hang on.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right. Let me just let me share this thing. If you're like most of the people, I don't know how many people in here are in client SEO, and but what I want to do is just this is definitely for for people that are doing just client SEO. So straight up, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Right on. So, a lot of what happens, so there's like a general kind of onslaught against business and business owners. And the message here is that business is an expression of greed that somehow helps lucky but unworthy people. Have you guys ever sensed that? You watch movies, there's just kind of this general impression that, that the rich are taking this gross advantage of people who are poor, or that are struggling, and really what you're saying, and like some of these movies, like they have all these like crazy bad guys, some of them are great movies. They've got some really good one-liners. They kind of tell and get you fired up. But there's a lot of especially in Hollywood, there's kind of like this onslaught against people that run business. And so especially if you're doing client SEO, one of the things to keep in mind is that you're dealing with somebody else who is also faced with this, the stigma or the stereotype that, hey, you're also running a business, and you've been somewhat demonized by the American society, that you're an unethical person because you're trying to do business. You're trying to do something that's going to take advantage of people. I mean, even in like kids are being indoctrinated with this crap. Right, that if you're running a business, you got to be doing something wrong. Look at a Disney movie. Like the bad guy in the movie was Lord Business. So I mean, even like, and when we watch things like this, I make sure to tell my kids, like, hey, going into business is one of the most noble things that you could possibly do with your life. Like when you think about what you want to spend your life on, going into business is in the top. And the reason for that is that when you go into business, really what you're saying, and even if you're just doing affiliate marketing, what you're saying, when you want to be wealthy, ultimately what you're saying is that you want to serve somebody else, right? So if that can really sink in, and you can feel it, and you can take that position that you are here to serve somebody, you are here to help somebody who does not know how to get ahead, that you maybe used to run a bunch of Yellow Pages ads, and they were doing well on that. They're stuck trying to make their business run in today's digital world. You're there to help them. So with that point of view, and you let that sink in and let that really become who you are about when you're running your company, running your business, then you have to start remaining on high alert for subtle and not so subtle swipes at the dignity and morality of business that are subconsciously impacting your being. And then your activities in your business are virtuous, and you have to hold on to that. Like, I am doing search engine optimization. I know there's a ton of people that are hiding behind a computer and trying to make sales, and then doing crap work for people. And so our potential clients are jaded by that. But I am virtuous and moral. I'm providing, provided you conduct yourself honestly and honorably. So the number one tactic that I use to get around a lot of this, and this works every time for everyone who's closable, if you're not doing it, you got to do it. You got to use technology to your advantage to the best that you can, especially when it comes to making money. And that is, people believe what they can see. So the number one thing that I show people is my face. Number one, I show that I put a face to the voice. How many other people in the internet marketing world are showing a face with a voice, even not just behind the marketing, but in front of it, like on blog posts? Are you putting videos? Most of the people that they're getting emails from, they have no idea who these people are. They have no idea who they might actually be talking to on the other end of the call. So showing your face to people when you're going to make a sale takes down all kinds of barriers. This guy or this gal is not afraid of showing themselves. They know their address is on the website, their phone number is right there. They're not hiding. They are, being very forthright and forthcoming and showing themselves to me, and then taking them through research, through competition analysis, looking at keywords, and then presenting them with options to buy, and doing all of this live via screen share when you're making those big sales, and then showing them a deck that makes a very pretty package for people to actually believe, to persuade people. I mean, ultimately in sales, what we want people to do is we want to get them to think, we want to get them to feel, and we want to get them to do something. So think, feel, and do. We want them to take action at the end of the call. And what I'm going to be delivering at NFG Rockstars is the package that you are going to show to potential clients that is going to get them to think, feel, and do. We want to get their emotions wrapped up into it. We want to package it really nice. We want to put a bow on it. And we want to have a really pretty buy now button that makes it very easy for people, that just persuades them to get off the phone and buy now. So hopefully just zooming out in our economy and what people are looking at, if you can present yourself as somebody who's moral, ethical, reliable, trustworthy, honest, successful, with integrity and transparency, you are going to win a lot more business, and that is what I want to help you to do.
That was going to be my last comment, was that transparency. If you look at how much like technology we have. If you look at most small businesses, I tell all my clients, like, take photos of your team, make videos, whatever you can do to be transparent to your customers. Yeah. Like, that's the number one thing.
Right on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely crucial. Exactly like what you're saying. So, and in front of the marketing message, and why not video? I mean, why not put yourself out there and just, because people carry around the phone all day long looking for connection, and they get lost in the noise. But if you can get your clients and you can yourself rise above the noise of what's going on the internet and connect with somebody with a video, all of a sudden you've risen above the noise. You've become the go-to business or company that somebody's going to do business with. So get out in front of that marketing message with your face and your voice.
If they don't know who you are, they will not buy from you in most cases. Yep, exactly. And another a quick tip for everyone: before or after the meeting, shoot a quick video. Hey, this is Brad. I really am looking forward to this call we've got tomorrow. Blah blah blah. If you've got their number, and text them that video, and then tomorrow at XYZ time and day, lock it in even more, and they feel obligated to go. They're not going to back out, and they already know what you look like ahead of time. And then they see you again. It's like, oh, it's the same guy. That's awesome. So yeah, it's really going to build the trust. That was awesome, Corey.
Yeah. What I love about Corey's methods is I've listened in on calls where people have called in wanting a service that they didn't need. Listening to Corey switch them to the service that they actually did need, and closing it on the phone call. And then, I call it that one call close that he does. But I actually had my wife sneak in one time when I was spying on him when he was doing a sale, and she was watching it too, and she was blown away as well.
One thing that I thought was kind of interesting, even banks are starting to do this. I don't know if this is necessarily the safest thing in some scenarios, but some banks, customer service, like at their ATMs, actually have a video that you can do. So if you're having problems or help, you can actually see a customer service rep on the other line.
Oh,
I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cool. I haven't seen that one.
Cool. Well, thank you, Corey.
Yeah, I really
appreciate it.
Well, thanks, fellas. Looking forward to it.
So we got a few extra minutes, guys. Anyone that's on the call right now, if you guys have any questions for some of the things that went over today, I wanted to spend a couple of minutes going answering some questions. So.
Drop your questions. Even if you dropped them earlier, just drop them now.
Get them knocked out. And I guess what I was going to present, it was going to lead into what we're going to cover anyway. So I guess you got to come to Anaheim for that, on how to really bump up your link building and do less work with, or more, what was it? Less work, more result type stuff. Whatever I say, I don't know. But yeah, drop your questions, and we'll get them knocked out if you got any.
You guys should be asking who drinks what. You're not asking the right questions right now.
Tell you one thing, don't play pool with Ted.
Hey now.
Actually, you play pool because he dropped some bombs with me and Mike.
Yeah, that was a fun night. Someone did ask who drinks what.
I drink tequila.
And if
I'm a
you're
bourbon
wondering whether
guy.
or not this is going to be worth your money, trust me, going to Rockstars is well worth the money. You're going to triple that money in the 3 months afterwards, just implementing some of the stuff you learn.
Well, what was really interesting is without knowing what was coming, when I loved seeing what Lisa, Steven, and Corey were talking about, because that coupled with all the SEO that was discussed, there's a huge system there that is able to be put together, and I think that's going to be one thing that people need to pay attention to is the system that's going to be able to come out of the presentations that are going to be at the event, especially with the sales portion covered. Kevin's covering ways to bust roadblocks down like crazy. And we've got, Craig dropped a bomb right there on getting freaking sites and stuff and a way to get just links rolling in just in forever, basically, once you have that site on the images. And I'm forgetting everybody. Kyle's, Ted's, everything. There's a system for you to build, and that also on that third day is the day to be building that system and asking people, hey, okay, so how can I fit these pieces together with what I've got going right now? So really, like, if you're coming, bring your questions with you and be ready to really get down and dirty and examine it. Don't bring your I want to look cool hat. Bring your I want to make my business succeed hat. And with everybody and everything I've heard today, I know that if I was just starting, I would be looking for that system that's going to take my business to that next level, or even start it. So let's see, can we get, yeah, there will be a replay, right, Brad?
Yeah, as long as there are no technical difficulties, we'll have one.
Yeah. So Stephen runs the SEO Signals Lab. You can find him in that group. I don't want to give out contact info for people because it's not me.
They might get angry when they start getting calls. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to give Brad's number though.
Yeah.
I just rewrite all the spam calls that Brad sells. So
is that why I've been getting blown up? We just listed our condo, and I've been getting blown up with like the
Dude,
show.
You said you wanted leads, so I'm getting leads.
Getting them, yeah.
Use Corey to help you close that shit. Come on.
Yeah, I'll just route them over to Corey then.
No, I need Steven's data software for a couple CPAs that we have to deal with on a regular basis, Brad.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe you need to be buying Steven stuff.
Yeah, buy me a drink, and
yeah, exactly.
he wants a different kind of alcohol from every single person, so he likes to mix.
And let me jump in here. I'm just going to say something. You hear you guys talking about buying drinks and stuff, but some of the best stuff often happens in the evenings or at lunches, or for example, Jordan, myself, Dory, and I think one student ended up in a ice bar last year for 2 hours. That one student got more information and data. If other people would have hung around, they missed some really good stuff. And what I'm getting at is, it's not just you're there from 9 to 4 and that's it. I think evenings are just as much fun. There's events, there's activities, but there's a lot of these little one-off conversations where you're learning stuff, making connections, and I think those things also help generate a lot of business and really help people who come to these conferences, including me. I get lots of tips there as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I actually have, there's people coming that I want to get into conversations with Ted and Kyle, because I've seen when Ted starts talking to people with PhDs and things like that, and the things that come out of those conversations, while I have to look them up on my phone while they're talking and to try to keep up, can be pretty freaking amazing. So Lisa's right. The networking is just as valuable in my eyes. I mean, I met my partners at events. That's how I met people that I could work with, and I've worked with for years. Made more money than I would have made if I hadn't have been at those events, because I went there, I networked, and some jackass liked me.
I didn't like you.
All right. Well, I know a lot of you are going to be there. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. If we don't have any more questions, everyone's got to get back to work. We're a bit over right now anyway. So
yeah.
One last chance for any questions, but we appreciate you taking the time today to be out here with us. And if you want to take advantage and get in that third day, do it, because it's closing up, and also take advantage of the +1 before it closes too. So
I really appreciate all the presenters for hopping on, and everyone who came to listen to the presenters. Awesome webinar. A bunch of bombs dropped. It's exactly, what we had in mind when we were putting it together. So I really appreciate everyone hopping on. Hopefully everyone on here got a ton of value. I think they did. Everyone just type value or something. Slam your head on the keyboard again. Don't break it like I did one time. Just say thanks to all the presenters, what have you. And if at all possible, I would definitely try and make it out to Anaheim this year. NFGrockstars.com. Come out there, hang out. I always, like everyone said, probably learn more, at the bar or ice bar or whatever, afterwards, as well as, at the event. You're gonna get a full system together, whether you do agency. I do a ton of PPL because I've been working with Jordan. So we've got all that information for you, especially the third day if you want to set that up in your agency. And the reason I like PPL is because, of the cash flow. It's coming in every month relatively consistently. You don't have to worry about losing the clients. But then once it's set up, I can go out, I can get the clients, pull it in, or work on other projects where I've got a piece of the company. So I think, if at all possible, you should set everything up like that. So if you want to learn how to do that, join us in Anaheim, nfgrockstars.com. That's the last time I'm going to say it. Anyone else got anything else they want to say before we end this bad boy?
Yeah, anything speakers want to say, take the mic if you want to.
Looking forward to seeing everyone there.
Yep.
All right, awesome, everyone. I appreciate it, and we'll see you in Anaheim. Thanks, and have a great one. Bye.
Take care.
Take it easy. See you later.